Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Peyton. You can call me PK, and I react to music today. Well, we're not reacting, but today we are going to be going over 21 Pilots' new album, Breach. Um, First off, Breach hockey. What is it? What is it called? The hockey? I forgot. Fuck. I don't know, hockey jersey. We'll just take it. Um, this is what I'll be wearing to the concert in Dallas. So if you're going to the concert in Dallas, Texas, just like East Pavilion, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to meet some of y'all there. I'm always looking for friends in this fandom. I kind of suck at approaching people, so if you come up to me and say hi, perfect. You know, I will. I'm just a little awkward, but it's okay. It's okay. But this is what I'll be wearing. This, and then it says, well, let me blurry face on the back. There's a little lore behind this. Basically, I had like no ideas of what I was gonna wear to Clancy World Tour, and so what I did is I got a custom made baseball jersey, and that's what I wore, and it said Clancy on the front, and then Clancy on the back, and had 21 as the number, and it was red and yellow. It was really cool. And so I was like, well, when am I gonna wear to Breach Tour? Well, I'm like, let's continue the tradition, even though it's a tradition that just started. So I was like, why don't I do? Because I followed hockey a bit more this past season, NHL season. So I'm like, why don't we do a hockey jersey? So I got a Breach one. But anyways, if you watch my drum show reaction, you will know that I did go to a listening party. Right, I did go to a listening party, so I've heard the album. I've been listening to it for the past day. Love it. I still love it as much as I loved it the first time I heard it. So, um, yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on this album. It actually means it's one of their most meaningful albums to me at the moment. Yeah, no, it feels like it's one of these things that came to me at the right time, right time in my life, the season of my life that I'm in, and I'm just very excited. So there's not going to be music in this video, so if you want to go listen to the songs, you can go listen to the songs. No, well, if you're new to 21 Pods, then you probably want to go listen to the songs first before I talk about things and everything of that sort. But I'm assuming if you're a 21 Pilots fan, you've definitely already heard all these songs. So I decided to just leave the music out of it. We're gonna just talk about lyrics. We're gonna talk about the my thoughts and everything, and kind of just how I feel. I just got my picture disc today. I got the what was it? The relive variant, and I actually we didn't get to choose because we did a it was kind of a blind one where basically we could just pre-order the picture disc because they didn't know how many of each one they were getting. So we just pre-ordered the picture disc itself, and then they just kind of like randomized what we would get. So I got the real live one, and that was my number two choice. My number one was Exalt. So I'm still very happy with it, and I'm waiting for my FB version of the vinyl to come in. Dude, I am so happy this album is here. I'm kind of in denial. I'm rambling a little bit, and that's how you know that. So, but I'm so excited. So let's get into this a little bit. So, track one, which is also the end of the fucking lore, apparently. City Walls. Hearing this for the first time, I went to the listening party, right? And I had tried to stay off of Twitter as much as possible, even though Twitter is like the main thing I use. Which, if you want to go follow me on there, it's at next semester pay PEY. Basically, I tried to stay off of there all day because I knew there was gonna be spoilers, but I kind of like couldn't, couldn't stop myself. So I went on and I did read. I didn't know what song or where, but I did read that "Entertain My Faith" was on the album, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Well, okay. So City Wall starts right. Listening, listening, listening. We get to the second verse, and I hear "Island of Violence," and I was like, "What the fuck is going on? Like, what do you mean Island of Violence?" Call back to Migraine. Crazy. And then we scroll, we go down and to the towards the end of the song, he starts singing "Entertain My." I'm like, there's no way this is what's happening right now. And then of course at the end of the song, it has the heavy dirty soul kind of screams, intro sounds, whatever you want to call it. And I'm like, this is really a perfect ending to the lore because it has so many callbacks to their earlier stuff, right? And that's kind of a great way to end it in one song with, callback to Migraine, callback to Holding On to You, and then a callback to Heavy Dirty Soul, which is actually the start of the lore. So it kind of insinuates and shows fully that this is a cycle, right? And of course, it's already been said, in the I Am Clancy video and also the I Am Torchbearer video where he says, stuck in a cycle that he's never able to break. Um, Basically, with mental health, with this being an allegory to mental health, basically, mental health is always going to be a cycle, right? It's something you're always going to have. It's never just going to go away. Like your mental illnesses and things of that sort, they're never just going to go away, right? And so, with this showing that yes, it's going to be a cycle, there's ways for you to you have to basically learn how to live with it and adapt and overcome um, the issues. And this even becomes more evident, of course, with the end of the lore, which I watched the video yesterday. Actually, kind of pissed off about that. I recorded the reaction to it and decided not to record any audio at all. And yeah, I just scrapped the video. But I watched the music video yesterday, and with Clancy becoming a bishop, or the new bishop, actually, the new head bishop, basically becoming Nico, in a way, kind of symbolizes that you can take control of your own mind and basically making it a more livable place. And now he's in control of everything, right? And he can make it a more livable place. And something else someone pointed out was, normally, like with Nico, the black would go up above his nose, right? Now with Clancy, the black only goes to his mouth. It's getting shorter and smaller every time the cycle continues. And so as the cycle keeps continuing, he learns different ways to cope, different ways to make his head a more livable and a more comfortable place to be in. And no, it's just, they said that some people wouldn't like it, and I could see why, but I really do think that this was the perfect ending to a story like this. But I mean, talking about the music side of it, the song's amazing. I love it. It's a normal, very typical 21 Pilots intro track, just as Overcompensate is, just as Ode to Sleep is, just as Heavy Dirty Soul is, just as Jumpsuit is, just as Good Day. Well, Good Day doesn't really fall fully into this kind of like it doesn't fully fall into these like this group, I guess, fully. Um, but it's always super high energy, rap usually out the gate, great hook or great chorus, just literally like gets you hooked into the album so good. And then it seems like with this being the last song of the lore, they tried to add a little bit more to extend it with the bridge and it slowing down a bit more and everything of that sort. And I really love the just the choice of everything they did on this song. With it being the end of the lore, with it being the first song in the album, like they really did everything they could have to just do it the way they needed to make this. I mean, just to kick everything off, wonderfully. So, hey, we'll move into track number two, Raw Fear. Um, Something I kind of, you know, said in my head when I first listened to this album was that, well, like partially during the listening party, but like also the first time through again whenever I was listening to it on my own, is that this album really is discovering again. It feels like how to live with anxiety. This anxiety feels like a big topic on this album, and it feels like it's really trying to find, it's him trying to find different ways to cope with anxieties. And as everybody knows, with Addict with a Pen, writing is a great way for him to do that. And so this album contains some of the best writing, in my opinion, some of his best writing in recent history. And the production choices and just everything, it really exudes emotion. You feel everything that he's saying. And so I can't tell you exactly, pinpoint exactly what he's talking about on this song, like in the sense of what kind of anxiety, what fear are we talking about here? I can't tell you. And quite frankly, I'm pretty sure Tyler's the only person that knows, just as he says, well, a lot of the time. So, like in the verse here, this first verse, you know, what scares me? Not stupid. You've met all my fears. They're all regulars. Wait, who's the new kid? So basically, he's talking about how he has his normal anxieties, the things he normally thinks about, and as a lot of people do in general, but and of course, especially people that suffer from anxiety. And you have your regular anxieties, things that you think about every day, all day. This could happen right now. This could happen right now. I'm scared to do this. just the normal anxieties. Wait, who's the new kid? Now it's a new fear coming in, right? And so now, and then he moves on to say, what kills me? Not getting stronger. And so basically, with the introduction of a new fear and a new anxiety, he feels as if he's not getting stronger. And so now he says he can't seem to sit still any longer. And now he's trying to take action against his own mind. And then I really love the production choice of saying at the end of the chorus, the second chorus, he says never slowing down, and then it just keeps repeating itself as things are getting faster, and it leads you to probably my favorite bridge on this album. Basically, he goes on to explain how your recovery, or not recovery, but day to day life it's just all just a slow and painful lesson, right? It's not something that is, well, like he says, it's not pass or fail. It's not something that's going to happen or not happen, or you're going to just completely solve everything and it's going to be done, or you're not, right? It's something that is continuously going to happen and might continuously get worse, but it's something that you have to learn how to live with, right? And that's when he says try to microdose to immunity, but you'll never ever get it because you'll never be immune to your anxiety if you have it. You'll never be immune to your depression, right? You never will. But you can try to do the different things in your life to get you there and to get you to be able to live with it a little bit more and be a bit more comfortable with it. And that's what I just love about this bridge. He goes on to say, "What's the matter isn't helping," which is something that I think um everybody has said before at some point, where the general question of what's the matter or what's wrong, or or the general saying of it'll get better, or don't think about that. I feel like that's a canon event for everybody. Everybody hears it, and after a while, it just doesn't help anything. And then he says, "I wish your parents would stop yelling." And see, I said this to myself when I was listening to the album for the first time again. I think the her is kind of referring to the her that was maybe in Redecorate. And it's kind of like a guns for hands standpoint a little bit, where it's like he's trying to speak in the perspective of us a little bit, or not trying to speak in our perspective, but trying to advocate a little bit for us. I wish your parents would stop yelling. And then it goes on with the chorus again. The song is really bright, and this song really introduces kind of the musical theme of the album, where we're getting back to Vessel and Blurryface days of very happy sounding songs, very upbeat, moving, driving songs with some not very happy lyrics, with lyrics that kind of hit deep, hit home a little bit. And track 3, Drum Show. If you want to know my thoughts on the song, um, you can check out this video right here. Yeah, you can check out the video. I did a full reaction of the song and the music video. If you want to know my thoughts on it, basically, like, I guess you could say the 1 week, 2 week update on the song is this shit bumps. And that's something that I will say a couple of times. The fucking mixing on this album is insane. I love it so much. They mixed the drums in here so well. And if you have a good sub in your car, holy fuck, it does something. It does something. I really think that's the way the album should be listened to. And it's just insane. But yeah, if you want to go check out my reaction and my thoughts on the song, you can go check out the video. And you can either go click on my page. It should be, it was, I think it's my most recently released video because I don't do videos often anymore. And so yeah, track number 4, Garbage. So this is the first, I'm doing my top 3 as we go, right? As we go. And I already know my top 3, but I'll reveal it to you as we go. This is my number 2 on this album. I love it, right? And when I first heard it, I'm like, people are gonna say the song is cringe as fuck. Like, who says I feel like garbage, right? Like, that's what I was thinking, but I'm like, I don't care. This song means a lot to me. Basically, it's him exploring how he's being self-aware, essentially, where I really do feel like shit, you know and I'll try to show you that, like, I don't feel good, and there's these different things in my life that are draining me and everything of the sort. And it's the reason why, I lash out so often. It's the reason why I am so anxious in public. It's just because there's just things aren't going great. And this is another case of a happy sounding song that isn't very happy, you know? So basically, like, this line is a thought process I go through sometimes where it's like, I kind of question if, I really struggled with the things that I do now back then when I was younger. And I don't know if I just didn't know if I did or not, right? Or if, I just could feel more and everything back then. And that's this is the line that really connects with me. And I really feel that one really well, I mean, really strongly. And then, the bridge. This is something that, again, another kind of thought process that I go through sometimes is, I there tends to my relationships tend to kind of fall apart sometimes because of how vocal I am about my own mental well-being. And so I do wonder, I'm like, would, these people grow closer to me and move closer to me and everything of that sort if I just didn't talk about it as much? Wasn't as loud about it. And so, uh, I mean, just it's the reason why the song connects so much to me. Why I connect so much with the song and with it being, I love the way it sounds too as well. I'm musically, it's great. Um, this one bumps too. But it really does mean a lot to me. It really did on the first listen at the listening party. Just straight chills the whole time listening to it. But this has been my number two on the album, and it means a lot to me. Track number five, The Contract. Again, already did a video on this reaction to the music video and the song right here. If you want to go check it out, you can see my thoughts, reaction to it. Lore song, uh, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. People are gonna get really mad at me. This is my least favorite song on the album. I'm sorry. It doesn't mean it's bad, right? It doesn't mean it's bad. That's not what I'm saying. It's just my least favorite. It's the one that I don't go back to very often. Um, it's just, I mean, it really is just a lore song, and that's great. And again, I don't have an issue with that, but don't come after me, please. That's just the way I feel. It really is kind of the weakest on the album, in my opinion. And if you don't agree, then perfect. I don't want you to agree with me because I know people love this song very much, and you know, if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. It just kind of is what it is. But I still play it often. I still listen to it all the time. It's just the one that I kind of go back to the least. Like I don't go in my car and be like, I'm gonna listen to the contract, right? But if it comes on, I'm listening to that shit, So that's kind of how I feel about the contract a little bit, now, like, kind of post, whatever month later, 3 weeks later, whatever, how long it's been. But if you want to check out my full reaction to everything, video, of course, on my page. Yeah. Track number six, Downstairs. Can't tell by my smile or if at this point you checked out my Twitter and saw my display name. This is my number one on the album. And I've seen people not like this song and hate on the song a little bit, and it makes my heart hurt a lot. I have a lot of thoughts on this one, and a lot of it sources from the Korea demo that ended up getting used. Fuck. Basically, I was sitting in the listening party, right? Song starts. Like, okay. I hear the horns since whatever crescendo in. And I sat there for a second. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, this sounds extremely familiar. And then it drops, and I'm like, I literally sat there and I just go, is this the Korea demo? And then I realized it was the Korea demo, and I was like, holy shit. And at that point in time, I had not listened to the Korea demo in 8 years. I just, it used to be one of those songs that, the unreleased stuff that I would go to pretty often, when I was younger and everything. But, over the years, I just kind of stopped listening to a lot of the unreleased stuff, whatever. And I went on my phone and I totally forgot that I did this, way back when. I have a bunch of acoustic versions and a bunch of unreleased stuff saved to my Apple Music. And so as soon as I got out of the party, I went on my phone and I played the Korea demo, and I'm like, holy shit, it was the Korea demo. And something in my soul, I just didn't know how to feel. Like, basically, it's just such a weird feeling because I'm gonna get a little sappy or whatever. So if you don't want to listen to me be sappy, then I'm sorry. Um, Basically back then, this band came to me at a very important time in my life. I really needed them, and it actually helped me through some issues that I had going on back when I was about about 10, 11 years old. I carried it with me for about 4 years, 5 years, and, and I stopped listening as much whenever things starting to get better because I just felt like I didn't need it anymore. And then, like I said, this album kind of came back to me at the right time, and well, I came back to the band about last year, a little bit after Clancy released, and it just everything came back at the right time, and so hearing this, hearing Korea demo being used, it kind of felt like a full circle moment a little bit. It was just it's odd, it's weird, it's a weird feeling. I don't know how to describe it really, um, but yeah, and this song means so much to me as somebody that you know I could you could say that I quit, that I didn't stick around for the band because I left in about 2019, I guess you could say, and I came back in 2024. So it kind of re-awoke. It just awoke something in me that I don't know how to explain it. I really don't. I'm sorry. I'm trying to, but it does not come out into words. But that's the song's my number one. That probably will not change. I doubt it will. The song sounds fucking amazing in my car. It does. It does. I'm sorry. Again, if you have a good sound system with a good sub, these songs sound fucking crazy, and this one, yeah. But it just it means a lot to me. Really does. You can really feel the emotion and everything in this song, and you hear me say it again in a couple songs actually. It's very much regional at best coded, very much vessel coded, where back then they really knew, they really not knew, but they really displayed a lot of the underlying emotion of these songs straight up through the music. Loudness, craziness, chaos. This kind of exemplifies that a little bit too. Is it feels like there's just so much underlying emotion in this with kind of the little bit of chaos the Korea demo is. It means a lot to me. It does. It really does. And so I don't really have much more to say about it, but it it just means a lot. I really can't put my thoughts into words with this song. Right, number 7, Robot Voices. The first sampled song in the 21 Pilots discography. I remember pre-release when I guess it was whenever we found out the track listing on Twitter. Everybody found out that basically he had sampled the song or something at basically one of the Robot Voices had something to do with, so we all knew that it had something to do with a song called My Soft Spots, My Robots by Blanket Approval. And you know, I didn't know how to feel about it because they've never done this before. They've never sampled a song, and they've never interpolated a song. And so, this song is really just like a shake ass, like throw ass, fucking dance your ass off song, and I love it. This one has been stuck in my head for the past day. It's just constantly, and it's so fun to sing. It's so fun to move around to. It's just, I love it. This is really one, like I said, if there's really an underlying meaning to the song, I don't know what it is. And it's going to be one that's kind of hard to do because I don't think there really is one. And it really just feels like something that you could, just dance to, vibe to, have a good time with. And I really love it. I really do. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Robot Voices. And then we lead into track number 8, Center Mass, aka my number 3 on this album. We're battling for the number 2 spot right now. Garbage takes this spot right now, but Center Mass is slowly creeping up. It's like it's like the fight that we saw in the City Walls music video, except I don't know who wins. They just keep fighting like crazy, apparently though. So, anyways, yes, we found out that he sampled the Moy Death from tour. He sampled the girl. I don't think you should take that from Drumgate. I don't know why, what, well, okay, I don't know why, but there's theories on why, but I don't know what like their thought process of just being like, yeah, I'm gonna use this. And so the theory that I've adopted and I've seen is that they used it to kind of show how much we mean to them. and kind of shows how much we influence the stuff that they do, especially as we've seen at the ending of the City Walls music video, which I may or may not have cried to that. So I'm kind of happy you didn't see the video. Yeah, no, I love this song. I love the rap aspect of the first two verses. Okay, at first listen to this song actually with lyrics. So not listening party, but first listen afterwards. Um I thought this song was about his religion and his faith. And the reason I say that, before you come after me, it's his lines about the tattoos. We've never really gotten full 100% confirmation what his tattoos mean because they mean something to him and only him. I do know he has a tattoo that resembles a cross, and I know he's had issues with religion. And so I'm not going to say this is what it is. Again, speculation. This is what I thought first listen, right? Okay, so this is not what I think now. But, he says my tattoos only hurt when meaning fades. In the sense that to me is that the tattoos that mean something to him in terms of religion and trying to bring him to his faith, they only hurt whenever he starts losing faith. And so, it's basically saying they didn't hurt when I got them, but when they start losing their meaning, which is very special to him, and I know, and everybody knows that, it starts to hurt him. And, and then he says, my skin got worse with good intentions, in the sense that he got the tattoos with intentions to kind of help uplift himself. And again, I took that in a religious route, but then now I'm more so not on that route anymore. And it's more just, it feels like kind of just venting a little bit. It feels like just him getting thoughts out, of just different things that he feels, and the different things that there's different anxieties, the different things that kind of hurt him. And so this is what I was gonna say, is this song feels very regional at best coded. Let me explain. We've seen it with Anathema, we've seen it with Slowtown, and we've seen it with Car Radio. I'm sure there's more that I'm missing that I just can't think of right now. But those three songs have something in common. They all have something in common. Where basically towards the end of the song, not directly into the ending, which is part of it, um, basically, well, other than Anathema, but basically they end with very just loud, chaotic instrumentals, very emotional instrumentals. And like in this song, in Center Mass, the end, you know, you can feel every snare hit that Josh makes. You can feel it all. You can feel the synths coming in. It's just all, it's so chaotic, but it's so emotional. And with Tyler singing the way he is slash screaming the way he is, you feel every single bit of it. And then what breaks me a lot um is these last lines of, nothing was the same after I went to the funeral. I miss you so much. Take what you want. Take what you want from me. Took you for granted. Those lyrics mean so much to me. As somebody that has lost a lot of family members that I was close with, it means a lot to me, because, that's a thought process that I go through sometimes too. And knowing, something that I always say is, knowing that I'm not the only one that feels that way and thinks that way about loss means so much to me. And so the power of relatability to me is something that is unmatched, and nothing will really help me more than anything other than that. And so it's just, the song means so much to me. I've cried to it. I mean, it's just everything. But it does feel a little bit kind of like a coping mechanism song a little bit, where he kind of just talks about different ways he kind of, I guess not different ways, but he talks about a way he kind of copes with just everything, life. And I think this outro really is one of the ways he copes with everything, is music, and being able to express emotion through music and everything. And it just means so much to me. Um, I'm sure it means a lot to Tyler, because he said it was his favorite song on the album. So yeah, that's how I feel about this song. Track number 9, Cottonwood. Another one. Another one, and especially with the ending of Center Mass, and then you go straight into this. Fuck me, right? Just literally don't, I don't think they kissed the brick whenever they threw it at me, right? Like that's how it feels. It feels like a part two to Legend. And of course you're like, oh well, of course, but both songs about his grandfather and one came off the other, so of course it would be the part two. Yeah, okay. But it feels like this one is more of kind of how he coped with everything and his thought process when he was going through grief and dealing with it all. And while Legend kind of felt more like a remembrance of life, celebration of life track with the trumpets and everything and how happy sounding it was, it really felt like it was just a celebration of life. While this track feels like cope, like how can I cope with this? And again, again, it this is another one that means a lot to me. And I can't listen to the song. I've listened to the song 2 times. Listening party and the first time I listened to this album. Other than that, I haven't listened to it. And it's too much for me. It's one of those it's just the same thing as like Neon Gravestones for me. I just can't listen to it. I can't. It's just like Truce. I can't listen to it. It just there's too much. It's too much for me right now with certain things and um again, it just so much emotion. So much emotion, so much emotion. Okay, track number 10 on a brighter side now with One Way. This song feels like the radio hit. Like this should be the radio hit. Like this is the one that should be going, triple emerald. That's a thing. Yes. No, this is the one that should blow up in my opinion. Uh it's so catchy. It's so bright sounding. I was gonna say, I almost posted on Twitter. I was like, dare I say 21 Pilots just dropped the song of the summer at the end of the summer. It really feels like it. It's such a bright song that you can just, blast in your car and just vibe and vibe and vibe. And it's such a great song to vibe out to. Um, it's one of those ones that, you can't, I don't know, I can't really put a full meaning to it. I can't put a full meaning to it and I also haven't really drawn any meaning, like fully like connection to it, other than the fact that I just vibe out to this fucking song. So if there's more to it, really, please let me know in the comments because I would love to know. But yeah, it's just really a great song, and of course the outro. At the listening party, we thought with all the Tyler interjections and kind of interlude, whatever you want to call it, um, we thought that this wasn't actually a part of the album. I think that was like a pretty normal reaction for. I think that was the same reaction with a lot of people. Is we didn't really think this was a part of the album, but the Josh voicemail and actually it's kind of a genius idea, and we'll actually take that straight into Days Lie Dormant track number 11. Um, which to be fair, the voicemail going into it, I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna say it, Joshler. Anyways, no, okay, I'll give you my actual initial um kind of interpretation of the song. This feels like the Jenna track. Um, it really does. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's not gonna write a track about Josh and when Josh moves to LA and he can't really stand to live in Ohio by himself without Josh. And it just I'm not saying he's not gonna do that, and I'm not saying he couldn't do that, and I'm not saying that this isn't that because I don't know. I'm not Tyler. But if I were to put any song on this album to being the Jenna song, this is the Jenna song. Right. And he always finds ways to kind of express his love in great, just writing. And like, saying that, if I was in chains, I found myself in chains, I would just lay down and wait for you because I know you'd be coming for me. Type shit. Like I trust you so much that if I was tied up and, locked away somewhere, I knew you would become looking for me. And he always just finds ways to do it. And, you know, this being another one, how he can't stand to live in a city where where you're not there, essentially. Okay, so I did see another comment somewhere about somebody saying that This is about Tyler on tour missing Jenna. And so the place, in a city where no one knows her name, da da da, all the different places he goes on tour. This is the one that I've fully adopted now. Like that's the full interpretation of this song that I've taken it and ran with it. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. I just never thought about it before until I saw someone say it. So just another interjection. Sorry. I just wanted to say that, and that's actually what I believe now, and everything like that. So yeah. Anyways, and again, I'm not gonna say it's not about Josh, but I'm just okay. Stop. Okay, but I really do think this is the Jenna track. I do think it's a Jenna track. I love the bridge on this. It's kind of funny, you know, but I don't know. I do love the bridge on this track. I love how everything comes down. It's just him and the piano and everything like that. But no, I do love this track. It's a fun track. It's again, it just feels like the Jenna track. Jenna tracks are always fun. And then we get into track 12. We get into track 12, Tally. Um, this is gonna be contrary to popular belief for me. My initial interpretation of the song, I think it's about us. I think it's about us. People say it's about Torchbearer, and I see those interpretations, and I do, I would not be surprised nearly at all if that's true. But I really think this one's about us. Basically, he talks about how you want to tally. I lost the count. You want a tally of all the times that I let you down, and all the times that I've messed up and I've done wrong, and somehow, we still believe in him. And that's why I think it's about us. And especially again, you go down to the bottom and he says, yeah, we go to the bridge and he says, I let you down, I breached your trust, I let you die. I don't know, but he says, I let you down, I breached your trust. The first time he said I breached your trust, he was talking to us. At least from my knowledge, at least I'm pretty sure that's what it was. He was talking to us. How he breached his trust so many times, and with the album literally with Breach coming out, he breached our trust, with all that. But I mean, it just makes it feel like it's about us and how he feels. And then again, you go back to Pet Cheetah, how it means so much to him that he's afraid to lose us. He's afraid to lose the fan base. He's afraid to do something wrong and mess everything up. And then, he kind of comes in here and he says, well, I have messed up so much and I let you down so many times, but you still believe in me. And when I replay it in my mind, it's your heartbreak every time, talking about the different, maybe different things that he's done wrong that people don't like, everything of that sort. But somehow we still believe him, we still support him, and everything of that sort. So that's my interpretation of it, and I still believe that one. And people can change my mind if really, like, you can change my mind, and if you really feel like it's about something else, and you know, explain it, I guess, to me, because I'm always up to, figure something out, I guess. Then leave it down in the comments. Let me know. Let me know what you think this track's about. Let me know how you feel about it, and if you think maybe what I'm saying is right, because that would be really cool if I was right. I like being right sometimes. So, but anyways, track 13, Intentions, last track on the album. Fuck me, fuck me, fuck me. Um, fuck. It played Tyler's little monologue beforehand, of course, with him saying that if you reverse the track, if you reverse the track, you might hear something familiar. And, you could tell it was something reversed, right? And I didn't really think too hard, like, oh yeah, it's going to be Truce. And then it was Truce. And then I remembered the theory, how the lore was going to end in a truce and how Truce might be on the set list because of the last letter sent out to fans and stuff like that, the Dima letter, that had Truce lyrics in it. I wasn't expecting it to be the reverse. I didn't expect it to be the instrumental on Intentions. And this song's heartbreaking, and especially even more heartbreaking when you listen to this song and then you listen to Truce right after. Um, Again, cycles, 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 cycles. Um, to me, that's what using Truce as the instrumental alludes to, is cycles, 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 cycles. If we're talking about in the sense of the music video, and the end of the lore in that sense, intentions mean everything. Intentions are everything, and him becoming a bishop, have to remember intentions are everything. You have to remember that although, yes, he's becoming a bishop, but you have to think about his intentions with becoming a bishop and, intentions to maybe make Dima a more suitable place for living. And again, intentions are everything. I think really ending off the lore, well, I'm not going to say exactly the way we started because it started with Heavy Dirty Soul, but ending off the lore with the song right before everything started, um, it's very poetic. And especially with it being truce, and of course the overall message of truce being stay alive, and about how, again, you won't figure it all out. You'll struggle and you'll have to deal with it every day. But finding ways to live with it and finding ways to gain control of some of those aspects really allows you to be free. It allows you to live your life the way you need to. This track's heartbreaking. Again, another one of those that I haven't really listened to very often. I was force fed it apparently yesterday with the City Walls music video, and I didn't want to be force fed that. It made everything 10 times worse, especially with the outro roll credits. Don't no. I'm sorry if I talked a little fast in this video. Just very excited to get my thoughts out on it. Um, but yeah, so those are my thoughts on Breach, the new 21 Pilots album. Stream Breach, Stream Breach, Stream Breach, Stream Downstairs. Actually, Stream Downstairs. I am still in denial this thing exists. I am still in denial that it's officially released. I'm still in denial that I'm going to a concert in a month. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel real. It's my first real release that I've fully like 100% been involved in. That's why I went to the listening party, and that's why again I got my picture disc today. Um, I ordered the FE variant of the vinyl, which still hasn't shipped yet, and I don't know why. Sorry. But it's really the first one I've really been able to keep up with fully outside of Trench. So, and even then with Trench, I wasn't able to really fully keep up with everything. I didn't get to go to Bandito tour. I mean, I didn't get to do anything then. But now, I don't know. It just feels surreal. Everything feels surreal. I feel like a kid again, man. I do. I really do. But I hope you enjoy this album as much as I did. I hope you, if you're struggling with anything, you can find some peace within this album and everything. And I really, really hope that yeah, I just know you're never alone. You matter. World Suicide Prevention Day was Wednesday, and just know that you matter. You really do, and there's a lot more people that love you than you think you do, than you think there are. Um, and if no one else does, I do. I do. I forever will. I'll forever care about all of you. And as always, stay safe, stay alive. Love you.